issue to take care of on 11A. This is the budget and appropriate the $200,000 to the contingency reserve for the purposes of conducting the further financial analysis, continuing negotiations, and continuing legal services from the bond council related to the Potomac National Stadium project, commuter parking garage. Okay. We need a motion.
So moved.
Okay. Do you have a second? Second by Mr. Noe. Discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Canlon?
I've got a big concern about this project in general. I think, and Mr. Chairman, to your credit, you've been working from the very beginning on trying to get the best deal possible for the citizens of Prince William County. And I've definitely seen that. I've definitely appreciated it. I know as a taxpayer, I appreciate your work on trying to negotiate the best deal. But as we've gone through this process, and as this deal unfolds, I do believe that this is not a good deal for taxpayers. I believe that the economic benefit is going to be minimal at best. What was interesting is we as a county, we applied for some transportation funding recently, and we part of the transportation funding application or grant, we had to hit a certain economic development threshold, and that we stated that 23 new jobs with an average salary of $42,000 for those 23 jobs. That did not meet the minimum job creation threshold for this transportation grant. This is not going to be a big economic development opportunity for the county. And what ends up happening is we now have the county taxpayer on the hook for this project. And we have in this deal that gets set up that the nationals will cover the debt service each year. And when you hear that, you think, okay, well, it's going to be a net zero. It's not going to cost us anything. Let's ignore all of the other site plan money that we have to put up. But there's no guarantee that they'll continue to pay that over 30 years. We see now in Oakland, with the Raiders leaving, we have the good people of Oakland are now on the hook for a $130 million stadium with no NFL team in it. There is no guarantee, and Mr. Chairman, I'm not supportive of this. I can't be supportive of this. I really do think that this is a project that we need to take to a public referendum. I believe that we need to have the citizens of Prince William County vote on this and tell us if they want to be on the hook for the next 30 years on this project. In 30 years, none of us are going to be here besides probably Supervisor Jenkins. But the taxpayers will continue to flip this bill. And so, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a substitute motion that we actually move this to a public referendum.
Okay, is there further discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
can I second that and then ask questions?
Sure.
So, County Attorney, what is required for a public referendum?
Mr. Chairman, the board would have to act and take action requesting that a question be placed before the court. And I believe the code section states that a referendum order shall be entered at least 81 days prior to the date of the election. So if the board would like, we can come back with a proposed timeline. I believe the board would have to act in the June timeframe to have the question presented, directing me to file the action with the circuit court. Then the circuit court would have to order it, etc. There would have to be the public notice, all for it to be placed upon the November 7th election.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Noe?
Question for the county attorney, I guess, though. I seem to recall some discussion earlier that the code that allows us to hold a referendum applies to very specific circumstances and not to others. Given the way in which the possible financing of the stadium has been structured, is that particular financing mechanism subject to the rules that allow a referendum?
The referendum would be for general obligation debt. This would not be going through the IDA.
But that's not how we framed this. We haven't
Correct.
framed this for general obligation debt.
Correct.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Callen?
I believe that this was framed so we didn't have to go to a public referendum. I believe that this should be a public financing discussion. In effect, the people of Prince William County are going to be on the hook for it, whether it's through the IDA or whether it's through public financing. This is a big enough project, in my opinion, that we need to hear from the voters on this. Let them decide. If they tell us to fund this stadium over the next 30 years, then to me this becomes a really different conversation.
Okay, all right, I think that's a really bad idea, with all due respect, and here's a couple reasons. I think, first of all, the board made the decision 2 or 3 weeks ago. We had a lot of citizens here, we called everybody in, we knew what everyone knew what the issue was, and JBG also made it very clear, they've spent a lot of money on this so far, pursuing it, that it was time for the county to make up its mind. Do we want to proceed? And we still have a lot of escape hatches going forward. We don't have to, if we move forward and the data comes back and we don't like it, it's not going to work. If the public's not going to be able to recoup its money, et cetera, we have many opportunities in the future. I think that if we go forward without telling the public that we're going to vote on whether or not this is going to be a referendum, it's kind of a surprise thing. There's going to be a lot of angry citizens out there. And also, I think that at that point, Mr. Sebastian from JBG made it clear that it was time for us to make a decision. We made that decision. If we go back on that and say, well, now we're going to do it referendum, it's just more delay, and I would not be surprised at all for that company based upon what they've already said. They just go in a different direction. They've already said that there could be a different use for that property.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, Mr. Callen.
If I may. Number one, I think what has changed since we had that last vote, by the way, I didn't support that last vote, but we were denied the $5 million. That is something that has changed. And we were told throughout that whole meeting over and over and over again, this is non-binding. This is non-binding. This is non-binding. This is just take the next step. Well, now we're hearing, well, we've committed through that vote. We can't turn our back on it. We committed. We've obligated. I guess non-binding doesn't mean non-binding. It means once you make the vote, then you're on the hook for it. I guess this just comes down to a fundamental disagreement that I don't see this as a good deal for the taxpayers. And because I see this stadium as a luxury, not a need, and we're going to be talking about a lot of needs tonight. We're going to be looking at very grand plans for school capacity increases, for increases in public safety salaries. For us to continue to throw money, we've already put $100,000 or so in some traffic impact analysis. Now we're looking to put another $200,000, and then there'll be another $200,000 beyond that. We just keep on putting more and more money into this project when I don't think, in my opinion, it's going to end up being a good deal. So.
Okay, so this is the substitute motion, correct. Mr. Callen's motion. Please vote on Mr. Callen's motion.
It's a tie vote, 4-4, 4 in favor, 4 opposed. Supervisors Anderson, Cadden, Canlin, and Lawson voting yes. Supervisors Jenkins, Noe, Principe, and Stewart voting nay. The motion fails in a tie vote situation.
Okay, so we're back to the main motion. Okay, is there further discussion on the main motion?
Yes, I think so,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Cadigan?
I was one of those board members, the one of 5, to vote the last time for us to continue the further financial analysis. And since that time, as Mr. Canlin has mentioned correctly, the VDOT has pulled out of the $5 million that we thought that we were going to get for the garage, which is very, very important. We were also told in the very beginning that it wasn't going to cost us anything, and I like that. Do like baseball, do like the fact that we would have a stadium, no doubt about it. But it seems to me that it's getting to be more and more and more Then I listen to our employees out here, I listen to our firefighters and our police, and there are a lot of needs. But I will tell you what I will do tonight. I will fulfill what I did at the last meeting and continue, because I said that we would continue to do the financial analysis so that we can tell the public, because we are going to have public hearings. We are going to hear from the citizens. I've already hearing from mine, and there is a pushback. But I will vote to support this $200,000 to finish it. I voted last week, and I said I would do that, but I have some real reservations, and I agree with a lot of the things that you're saying, Mr. Canlin. So with that said, if you understood what I said, I'm going to follow through on last week. I'm really not comfortable, but I'm going to follow through.
Thank you. Okay, please vote.
Motion passes 5 in favor, 3 opposed. Supervisors Cadigan, Jenkins, Noe, Princeby, and Stewart voting aye. Supervisors Anderson, Canlin, and Lawson voting nay.
Okay, now.